Good evening, everyone. Let us begin tonight's trustee meeting with Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's begin tonight's meeting with review and vote of the minutes of Tuesday, August 30th, please. Everyone should have received a copy. Any additions, omissions, corrections? Okay. Hearing none, can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Second is the director's report, please.
Well, we've had a fairly busy September. Of note, we had a concert on September 8th with a local, I would call it folk Americana group, Mark Mandeville and Rayanne Richards, and that was sponsored by the Dudley Cultural Council. And they, ironically, Mark and Rayanne live right in Webster, and so this was a pretty close gig for them, and they were great. We had 20 people, and I think I'm going to try to get them, actually we've booked for July of next year. I'm going to try to do a summer concert series where I have June, July, and August, one each month. And he had some, they know people in the area, so they had a suggestion for August even, so anyway, they were great. I loved them, and everyone really liked them quite a lot. Let's see, the Team Pizza and Pages book group is going strong with 13 members so far. Yeah, and our Lego engineering class, that's a 7-week program, a collaborative effort between the library and Dudley Charlton Regional School District, their STEAM program. It's facilitated by Playwell Technologies, and that has begun. It started on the 12th, and the kids are just loving it. Absolutely loving it. They were, last week, I didn't see this past Monday, but last week they were building like fulcrums and things like that, and they were out of control. I couldn't believe some of the things they were building.
Catapult.
Yeah, catapults.
That's the word.
Did I say fulcrum? Isn't
No,
it
one of those.
sort of the same thing? I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
works on a fulcrum.
I should probably go to the engineering class. So that's going really well, and so we're about halfway through on that. The first session. We do have a second session that's going to start up in January or February, but people can still sign up for the second session. There's another 6 or 7 week session that's coming up at the beginning of next year. And I encourage people to go to our website, crawfordlibrary.org, to the children's page and sign up. There's a link, and you sign up, and you can, everything is done online. Alrighty, let's see. So other than that, the usual type things. We did have a couple of new programs, health related, at the library. We had Intro to Meditation on the 19th, and we had 16 people participate in that. It was facilitated by a person that I met through the Christopher Heights book group. She is the activities coordinator, Carolyn Hudon, at Christopher Heights. And she's been practicing this and taking classes for many years, and everyone really liked it, and they asked for her to come back, so we booked her again in October for a guided meditation. And then secondly, this is our second go-around with Vinyasa Yoga with Julie St. Francis. She is a teacher in the Dudley school system. And this time she had 6 people as opposed to just a couple of people. So
Was she happy with that?
yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Hopefully that will increase.
Except it was like 12 degrees in the community room,
Okay.
so they had to move quickly. So yeah, I've got to switch over. I thought that Renault switched us over, but actually I've got to make a note of that. Pardon me. If I don't write this down now, they'll just leave the brain pan. So yeah, that, we're trying to, I believe we're going to set up, I'm still confirming with Julie, but she suggested a 6-week drop-in, kind of pay-as-you-go kind of thing.
Mhm.
And we don't get involved with any of that. People just show up with their mats and,
Right.
pay $5 to Julie and that's it,
Mhm.
And so what we're working on is a 6-week, either $5 a session, you have to register or anything like that, it's a drop-in, or all 6 for $25.
Mhm.
So we're just ironing out, I was trying to get everything, that whole 6 weeks, we have about 6 weeks before Thanksgiving, if you can believe that.
Yes.
And then I just have one Thursday that I have someone book the community room, a company that actually paid to, use it, so. Anyway, we're working on that. I would suggest that if people are interested, they watch our sign, they watch our event calendar, and of course tomorrow I should have confirmation of this. It'll go out in the October newsletter. So, and last but not least, on Monday, we had a visit. We had the gal from the Dudley, Webster Dudley Boys and Girls Club in a couple of weeks ago to talk to us about getting a group card and setting up kind of a, an ongoing, like a every couple of weeks visit, a supervised group visit with the kids that participate in the Boys and Girls Club. And she was very, very great. She was articulate, really like her. She's new. Her name is Lily. I can't remember her last name, but she came and met with Kathy and I and wanted to make the connection, and I thought it was a great idea. So they all showed up. They brought a busload of about 20 teens from the, that tween teen age group from the Boys and Girls Club over, just to show them the library, become familiar with the teen room. And I forgot, actually, and I walked by, and the place was like wall-to-wall kids, and I'm like, oh, what's going on in there? What are we giving away? And then I remembered, and so what they're doing is they do have a group card, and they're allowed to take books out on that card, and the person that's supervising the visit is responsible for the books. So he left with an armful of books, and so we'll see how this goes and see where it goes from here.
That's great.
We're thinking we would like to purchase a 3D printer, possibly with endowment funds, down the road, maybe in the next couple of months, and then that would be a really neat program to have as well. So that's the big thing, 3D printers is. So, and it's a great, it'll be a great use of endowment funds, but I'll have more details on that in the next meeting. Anyway, upcoming, these are just some highlights, and they're aside from our usual ongoing programs of knitting and book club and so on and so forth, which people can find out about by looking at our sign, checking our website, or signing up for our newsletter. Of note, on Monday the 3rd, we do have Peg Peterson, who is one of the people in the that reads the Mauser grants, coming in to do her sort of annual, now it's become, Mauser grant informational session. That's Monday, October 3rd from 6 to 7:30. And that, I believe, will be in the local history room. Is where it worked out to be just perfect last time. There's no registration for that, and basically it's just sort of tips for filling out the grant information. It was very well attended last year. I highly recommend that people considering applying for that grant attend this workshop, because Peg is very informative about what you need to kind of culling the information down to the useful information. On Wednesdays, we're starting up on, October 5th through November 9th from 10:30 to 11:30 is our session number 4 of the year for the chair yoga with Joanne the Liberty. That's sponsored by the Friends of the Library. On Thursday the 27th, we welcome Richard Reed, who will be speaking to the genealogy group and any other people that are interested on Irish genealogy resources. There's no registration, it's sponsored by the Friends, and all are welcome. That will be in the local history room on October 27th at 6 o'clock. Again, I just briefly mentioned the yoga sessions. It's still tentative at this point, but we're hoping to have Julie St. Francis do a 6-week yoga for adults and young adults if they're interested. And stay tuned for that. People should check back on our website probably tomorrow or the next day to find out whether or not that's a go. On youth programs, this Friday through Monday, October 24th, we're running a teen pumpkin carving contest. It's for teens ages, must be grades 6 through 12. The pumpkins get carved at home and brought to the library on October 24th by 4:30. You do not need to bring them before October 24th because we don't want pumpkins laying around in the library attracting fruit flies, but the judging will take place on the 24th, I believe from like 5 to 7 or something of that nature. The winner receives movie tickets and a Halloween treat. This is sponsored by the Friends of the Library. So we'll have all the pumpkins set up in the library on the 24th. They have almost a whole month, maybe 3 weeks to carve them. Bring them in. The judging is by the staff. No, I believe the judging is everyone.
Oh.
There will be little, the public will come in and will pick their favorite pumpkin. So I hope all of you stop by. And
Participants required to remove their pumpkin at the end of the event?
yes, pumpkins will be available to be picked up, I believe, on the 25th.
Okay.
It does say on the website the particulars. Hang on a second. It doesn't say here right now, but yes, if they're not picked up like that day or the next day, they're going in the hopper. So anyway, I hope everyone stops by to cast their vote for the best pumpkin. On Mondays, as I said, we still have our Lego engineering program that runs through October 31st, and I do believe there is still room for kids to sign up if they wish to, maybe a couple of spots. I know we're 3 in, but for $30 your child can still participate. It's not like it's cumulative, so it's a great opportunity, and I do hope that people take advantage of it. And that is sponsored by the Mauser Trust. I just want to point that out. On Monday the 3rd, from 6 to 7, we have Pizza and Pages Teen Book Group, also sponsored by the Friends. Middle of October, the 11th, which is a Tuesday, through Friday the 14th, we are celebrating Teen Read Week with all kinds of contests and crafts. And I believe we're doing a fine forgiveness week for teenagers that week for Dudley fines only, overdue fines. So stop into the library and participate and bring your card and have fun. On Monday, October 17th, from 6:30 to 7:30, we are hosting Teen Paint Night. There's a Halloween theme. It's facilitated by a local artist. I do not recall the person's name, but there is a $10 copay and registration is required at the library. This is sponsored in part by the Friends. And finally, on the 21st, from 11:30 to 12, we are having another Mommy and Me yoga. This is for moms and kids ages 2 to 5. Registration is required, and this is also sponsored by Friends of the Library. We did have a Mommy and Me just last week, and it was, I would consider that 11 participants success for that. It's kind of a new thing that we're trying. You all have a copy of the budget as we are currently standing. So there's nothing unusual so far. If no one has any questions about that, I'm going to move on to the town warrant, which is, as you may or may not already know, I submitted my warrant article request for the balance, so that equals what I had asked for versus what I got. It amounted to 21,000 and change, and there's an explanation of how that breaks out attached for your information. So if anyone has any questions about that, we can discuss, but this was presented last night at the Board of Selectmen meeting, and we will see where we go from here. Next week there will be meetings with the Fiscal Appropriations Committee and the Board of Selectmen, and I think by the end of next week the warrant will be finished. You know, they'll have everything written up. So I will keep everyone posted on the progress with that. And Ben and Pat, are you available to go to that meeting or meetings with me next week?
What
Yeah.
is the date? Do you know if you don't see
Did you?
it?
It's Tuesday, but I'm not 100%
Okay, Tuesday
sure.
would be good. For Wednesday I am not available, but otherwise I am.
Okay. I feel very strongly that one of you needs to be there with me. So,
I will change. Tuesday I have a conflict, but I will change it.
okay.
I will change it.
We might want to just confirm that with Michelle.
Yeah.
She'll-
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't have a confirmation of the meeting date or
I was
time,
gonna say, yeah.
so,
They'll confirm with you, I assume, so
yeah.
then you'll let us
I've
know.
asked her,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I do wish to have you there. Let's see, I didn't get to the emergency evacuation. I haven't finished that yet, so I'm gonna defer that to October. I need to finish up some of this budget-related stuff. Let's see, the emergency lighting, our electrician, Neil Piasta, received, if just to refresh your memories, 2 of our emergency light boxes have fried circuit boards. So those were ordered, they were shipped, and for some odd reason sent back, not by Neil, by UPS. Because we were waiting and waiting, I'm like, finally Neil and I were talking last week, he's like, let me give them a call. So he did, and they were like, oh, we got them back. So they reshipped them, he has them, and he'll be in at some point next week to install them, and then I will have to have Norell out to re-inspect, and then I hope to be finished with this odyssey. So, something I thought would be so simple. That's what. The security camera, the status of that is that American Alarm, and I just heard from them before I left for this meeting, that they are sending the chap out to do the work that we said we were going to have done, kind of try to clean up the hard drives. The cameras are functioning, I just want to point that out, but the hard drives just, you know, there's some data that we're just going to clean up on the hard drives to make them more efficient and hopefully function smoothly. So they are due out next week to do that work. And let's see, under miscellaneous, the library will be closed on Monday, October 10th in observance of Columbus Day. I've kind of given you the final handout in your bunch is the proposal right now, the way it stands, the situation with the computers at the library is that under normal circumstances, when you upgrade computers, you do them a bit at a time. But we're in the situation where they were all purchased at the same time, all with the same crummy operating system. And the operating system is starting to conflict with other upgrades that CWMRs is. Our internet computers are just freezing up every day, multiple times a day. It's a headache. I want to get going on this. My intention is to use available state aid funds to purchase 20 computers. We have a total of 34 computers that we need to replace throughout the library. So for this upgrade, I've split it into 20, and that 20 breaks out as the 7 staff, and I really need to do all the staff ones. There's just, I looked and I'm like, well, maybe I can do that. There's no way. I just, they're all critical. So the 7 staff, I'm not doing the self-checks because I don't believe those need to be done. Trust me, they'll let me know if they do. And then I was initially going to do all the adult computers, and I said, wait a minute, why don't I just do a table of children, a table of adult, and a table, and like 3 of the teens? So that's what my plan is. So I've split it up so that there's 2 catalog computers, 1 in adult and 1 in children. Those will be part of it. And then the rest of those tables of internet computers in adult and children, okay? So that equals 4 children's total, 6 adult total, and then I'm going to do 1 side of the teen table. So that's 20. And then I got my quotes. I did get a quote from Retrofit, and I think I can do better going directly through Dell. So I've been back and forth with the Dell guy. He came back with a number, and I went back and said, well, nope, how about this? And I haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm thinking, I'm going to get him down to my price. Because he quoted another library that price, and I have that information.
Is that your price right now? Or is that his price? 15,000?
That's if he comes down to my price.
What
Right.
operating system is it, do you know?
10. And I have to have an operating system that's compatible with our CW Mars software too.
Right.
And 10 appears to be perfectly compatible. The one prior to that is not. So I think it's 8 is not. 7 is, but I don't see any reason to go at 7 if yeah, exactly, if I'm going to do this.
Get it up.
So the operating system comes with the computer, but I'm not going to purchase the productivity software through Dell. How they'll load it if you want them to, because it's a lot of money. There's an organization called TechSoup who supplies software to nonprofits, and so it's 20 for 20 Office 16 standard, because we don't need the Pro one. It's $29 a piece.
That's a great price.
Isn't that awesome?
It is, it's a great price.
So that total for all those 20 is $580. And I had thought you could only buy it once a year. It used to be that way with their Microsoft products, because they supply, there's like 100 software suppliers you can pick and choose.
So the software you're saying is 29?
Yeah.
Bucks.
Would it be any advantage, not all of the computers are being replaced, upgrade the software on those that remain with the old group? With the
Oh,
$29
no.
or so? No?
I'm not doing that.
No? Okay.
Because they're all being
keep it.
replaced in short time.
All right.
The ones that are not being replaced, I'm replacing early next year.
Yeah.
But I'll have another influx of state aid, God willing, by that time.
I just thought that it might be easier having everything on the same platform as opposed to this is running one thing, this is running something else, and whatever confusion there might be.
Well, the problem, no, because then I would have to pay Retrofit to install that software on a computer that is going to be replaced.
No.
So that
It
makes.
may not even be compatible any longer. I think there's too many.
I'm doing nothing with the computers with Windows Vista
Yeah.
except quite possibly putting my foot through them very
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
So after we do 20, how many does that leave?
About 13,
13 more.
13, 14. So
Do you have a target date you want this all completed by?
as soon as I can iron out a plan with, I would say by the next time we meet, I'm going to have a concrete plan in place, and I'm
For
going
the
to.
installation, I mean, is there a target date, like by the end of fiscal 2017? Or
Oh, yes.
Just, oh, okay.
For the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't, I didn't include printers in this, but what I'm intending to do is in the next bunch, early next year, is purchase a color printer, because we do get a lot of requests for that. That's pretty commonplace now. And our 2 printers are they're good workhorses. One of them we've been having problems with, so I'll probably replace one of those with a color one, because you can network to the color one. So I'm holding off on that until the next, until early next year. And the reason is because right now we don't have, we have time management software installed on these computers. It's called PC reservation. So when you sit down at a public computer, you type in your library barcode. And that's what most of the CW Mars libraries use. And CW Mars manages that for us. We have a console in the back. And there's a print component to that we don't participate in that, because it's pretty much the honor system. But what happens is, and this happens more than I would like, and I always hate it. There's no good way to do this without either disrupting the staff or disrupting the patrons, but there's a print control module that you can also purchase. We pay X amount a year for PC reservation for time management. There's another charge for the print control portion of that. It's roughly equivalent of whatever the other one is, the time management one. But it's worth it, because the way it works is the person has to basically pay for the job before they print it. And what happens is sometimes now is, the person is on the computer and they print their stuff out. And if they're printing a web page or something like that, and they don't know enough to do a print preview and see that, there's other stuff, and then they say, well, I don't want those. I'm not paying for those. Here you go. So, and then people will print, and there's no way for us to know, if someone prints a book out and then they get up and walk out the door, we don't know who that person is. So I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't like that. It's a waste of paper. It's a waste of ink. And that stuff is expensive. So I think that it's worthwhile to put something in place. What that something is, there's 2 options with PC reservation, with Envisionware, which is the company that, has this software. One is a standalone computer that, basically it's a coin op. Yeah, and that would involve, the person goes up, they find their job, they put in the money, it gets released, and that's that. Very little staff involvement. The other one is we put the release thing on the staff computer, and the staff has to release it. I plan to visit a couple of libraries that have each one of those things, and I want to talk to the staff, because I'm sure they'll have feedback for me. Librarians don't hold back about that kind of thing. So I think we should do that. If we're going over to, if we're going to have a color printer, we want to make sure that it's managed properly. I'm not going to be buying color cartridges for that thing.
It could get very expensive.
It's so true, Richard. So,
yeah, students at Nichols have to pay for color.
how do you guys work it? They have a debit card, I bet, like a card
Students
that they...
have a certain amount of black and white that they
Free?
can, well, it's all...
Built in.
It's built
Built
into
in.
their
Yeah.
tuition.
Oh,
But any color copies or printing, they pay out of pocket.
how do they do that?
Before.
Yeah, they have to do it before. They send it, and then it goes to the Star Desk,
Yep.
and they have to pay for it.
The Star Desk.
Student technology.
I like that.
Yeah.
The Stardust, yes.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to pick your brain a little bit about that. That's probably not compatible with our, I think
You
we'll,
can talk to Jim Conrad.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true, I
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
So this doesn't comprehend that, but I didn't feel that I had to.
Jim Douglas, I'm sorry. Jim Douglas.
Oh, yeah,
Jim
that's right.
Conrad's no longer with us. I was going to say, how are you
That's right.
talking to Jim Conrad?
He's top of mind with me.
I know. It's like,
Went right over my head.
And I knew what you meant too, because I mean.
So did I.
thought
I know
of
what you
Jim
meant, but I
Douglas.
heard what
The
you
librarian.
said.
Jim Douglas
Yes.
is the librarian at
Yes.
Nichols College. Okay, so that's the software. And they were very nice. They got Matt and, who was the other guy, Charlie or something like that? Who was the guy before Matt? Chuck?
Chuck.
Yeah, he was still in there as the administrator, so. Yeah, that reminds me, I have to change the address. They still have one village. We don't want the 20 computers going to.
No,
David
no, no.
Donuts.
To Dippin'
Dippin'
Donuts.
Donuts. Dippin'
It's
Donuts,
Christmas.
Yeah, right.
So the big other thing that is a question mark right now is, naturally, I'm not going to be setting these up and networking them myself. And the retrofit quotes, they quote 2 to 4 hours per computer. So, and I have some block time, but I certainly don't have that much block time. I purchased a little bit more. I think I purchased 10 hours, maybe several months ago. And we've used some of that because we had I had to have them deploy a new version of Deep Freeze. So he was out all day. So I've got a few hours left of that. So let's just say it's negligible, the balance. So I've got to get them back, and I don't know what that number's going to be, but that's part of what my warrant request was if I pay for the hardware using my state aid, it's, I don't want to tap that account out, so I want to use my IT line, and hopefully I'll get that money and we'll use that and bump up I'm going to buy more than I need because those, you can use those anytime. It's a bank. You do that for the town hall, yeah. That's it. Again, my other intention is to purchase a 3D printer, but for that I plan to propose that, we use endowment funds for that because primarily actually not endowment funds, gift funds, because we've received just about the right amount of money in donations in Harriet's memory. And I thought that would be, I thought that would be a great use of those funds. Just about the right amount for the printer, the filaments, and we'll need a cart because we don't have I'm not going to want to leave that sitting out. And then we'll set up hours. I've kind of been poking around seeing what other libraries do, and I think it'll be fun, not just for teens, but for children, supervised, and for adults as well. I know Thompson said that there's a guy that comes in, he's an inventor, and he's always doing little prototypes on it.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's great.
Allison and Thompson gave me a key that she had made, and I swear to God, it does not look like it was made on, it looks like a
Right.
stamped key,
Mm-hmm.
a real key.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They have it in Thompson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and the one they have in Thompson is the same one that we're getting, like Kathy and I have put the feelers out to see which models, and it's like, you don't want to buy a car in the first model year,
Right.
So I felt the same way about this, So that's that, as far as the computer upgrade. I will be, firming things up in the coming few weeks. I'm not sure if I told you about this, but back when the library was built, rolled into the whole thing was a multi-year contract for our 3M RFID stuff. I didn't know that until later on in the game, till it expired, basically. And I got a contract re-up for $6,550 for 1 year. And I laughed first. And then when I stopped laughing, I called 3M and said, what else have you got? So I'm awaiting, the negotiations are ongoing. And we have 2 self-checks, we have 3 RFID stations, 1 in children's and 2 out at the front. We have the uprights, and all of that is very complicated stuff. And my understanding, because I asked 3M got scooped up by a company called Biblioteca. And ever since that merger, it's been, I don't know, not good. And everything's gone up. So the problem is that if we don't have a service contract with them, it's like $500 for them to come out, even for the littlest tiny thing. And that doesn't count parts.
$6,550 for how long?
1 year. And I just think that's unacceptable. And I've made my feelings known to 3M Biblioteca. I just called them again today. This has been going on for a few weeks because the contract expired in June, end of June. It went from July 1, 2010 to June 30th, 2016. So I'm working on it.
Are there alternatives?
Not really.
There is then.
Yeah, it's their equipment. Yeah, so I know. And they know they have you over a barrel too.
Sure they do.
This is what, a lot of libraries, you know, there are some libraries that we're looking at RFID and, you know, they shy away because of that. You know, it is a good system, I have to say. It is a, you know, we don't have a lot of loss because of that. So if you want to look at that, you know, and weigh that in there, then you have to look at that as a positive as well.
I don't remember what the price was to begin with.
And I don't see it anywhere.
But I just remember we thought of it as saving staff, just so you could have some self-checkout because.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, personnel, we knew we were going to be tough on personnel, so this was something we could work into the price of the building and save manpower.
That's why most libraries go over with it.
Yeah. And it's been very successful that way. You have patrons who use it all the time.
Yeah, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself. That's the one thing that seems to be working properly right now. Yeah, no kidding. When I ever saw that, I almost fell off of my chair.
So we've been open 6 years?
Do they provide anything for that?
6
Yeah,
years.
come in and maintain it or check it? Or?
No.
Oh, jeez.
I wouldn't remember
Yeah,
that, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
What a racket.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, anyway, I'm on it. And then I already spoke
Well,
about
how much leeway time do we have? This is run out when? As of last July?
Mhm.
So we're on borrowed
Don't
time?
even say it.
I know. I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Don't jinx me, Ben. I have been in touch with them. They haven't been terribly responsive to boot. So when I first got the thing, I quickly emailed them and said, no. And what else have you got? The next thing. So, and then I heard nothing for like a couple of weeks. And you know, of course, I get busy, so I had my follow-up, I followed up with them and followed up. I spoke to the chap again today, and he said, well, I'm gonna bump you up to my supervisor. And I said, okay. So now I'm going up the food chain. So.
Fun and
All
games.
fun and games, exactly. Okay, so I believe that's it, because I was just mentioning that the performance evaluations will take place sometime in October and hopefully wrapped up by early November.
Did we discuss the emergency evacuation plan?
I pushed that out to October.
Okay.
I just haven't had a time. I don't want to do it in a rush.
No.
So, and you know, really, it's just some edits that I need to make.
Mhm.
Oh, I will mention that you asked me to get in touch with the schools, and they have a big elaborate plan for their evacuation, and they also have generators.
Oh.
So, you know, it's not apples and apples.
Mhm. Okay.
So I did reach out to them, and I did ask them, and he got back to me and said, you know, we have an elaborate plan. This one goes here, and this one goes there, and you know, it's not really.
Well, the thought was that if there was some commonality, that kids in particular, if an evacuation plan was generic, if you would, you know, for both the schools and the library, the kids would be more likely to be able to follow through on that should the occasion, you know, need it.
You know, it's pretty, for us, it's pretty uncomplicated. It's just, you know,
Mhm.
it's mostly for the staff is what it's for, because the staff needs to guide people.
Right.
So I just need to edit and type up what I need to type up and get it back to you guys. I'll have it for October. By then, a lot of this other stuff will be, you know, settled, hopefully. I think the town meeting is the day before our next trustee meeting, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a good thing. Let's see, am I done?
Review of updates to bylaws.
Oh,
Can I just ask Karen one thing? You didn't mention the upcoming book sale?
oh my gosh, it was right there too.
I know, I just wanted to make sure
Underlined
that you
and
mentioned
bolded.
it. Kind of blended in. Just wanted to make sure you mentioned it. Thanks, staff people were watching.
Yes, absolutely. Hiding in plain sight is the Friends Fall Book Sale taking place this week and weekend. The members-only preview is Wednesday, September 28th from 5 to 7. And I want to mention that if you're not a member of the Friends of the Library, you can join that evening. And it's great because you get a sneak peek, you get, you know, first dibs on all these great gently used books. And it's not very much money to join. There's different levels, of course, but the lowest level is still, you know, peanuts. And then it's open to the general public starting Thursday, September 29th, all day from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. or, you know, a few minutes before 8, we, you know, start cleaning up. And also on Friday, September 30th, from 10 to 5 or a few minutes before 5. It is also open on Saturday, October 1st from 10 to 12. So, and I want to mention that as you hear me talk about these programs, you will notice that many of them are, if not all of them, are sponsored by the Friends of the Library. And this book sale is one of the major fundraisers for the Friends. So please do come. It's a great time to pick up books, and some of the books are brand new and great Christmas gifts. So join us, and thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
Actually, if I could just say one thing before we continue, I would like to extend kudos to everyone involved in creating the new website for the town of Dudley. It's a vast improvement over the previous site, and also it's so very professional. I think it really moves the town forward. They should be very proud of all the work that was put into it. So
I think it's slick.
it's
I really do.
slick. Yep. We should try to emulate it. I know you said at one point that.
I don't know what happened to Dale. That's on my list of follow-ups too. He said I'll get back to you with some templates. And he must be very busy.
Just send him the link. Say we saved you some time.
Well, he has templates,
Yeah, I'm sure he
you know,
does.
for libraries.
Yeah,
And,
probably
you know.
something very similar.
Yeah,
Mhm.
with that block format.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice though. Very welcoming.
Mhm.
So much easier on the eye.
Yes.
I did the last. Be careful, you guys. Really?
What'd you say?
I
You
did the
wore,
last
you
website.
wore many
Well,
hats.
but
Just
Deb,
that's a vast improvement, you know, it's okay.
yeah, but,
At least we had
how
one.
can, all right, I'm not even going to try to
Moving
back
right along.
that one.
I did
Forget it.
three, too.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
No, I do, I agree, it's really good. They did a really good job.
Were you involved in that project?
A little, but he did all the work, John did all the work.
Sure well done.
You did a nice job too.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You know, it
In
served
between
it-
everything else you
it
did.
served
its
the
purpose, it
town
did. It
well
served its
for many
purpose, yeah.
years, right? So,
Okay, moving on.
let us all just get our feet out of our mouths
I'm
right
sure
now.
every
That would be
commission and board say the same thing though, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Review of updates to
No, we're
bylaws.
going to this one first.
Okay, we'll go to the
Other ones.
secretary. Oh, there we go. Secretary of the trustee board.
Okay, I would like to nominate Deb Thibodeau to to be the secretary of our board. I've already spoken with Deb about that because she's kind of the person who nudges me along when I forget agendas and things like that. So I would like to make a motion to appoint Deb Thibodeau as secretary of the trustee board.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Congratulations.
It's only on the condition that we still take turns.
No, you already voted in before that.
And we already had this discussion.
As you can see, the rotation has already been.
I love it.
Well, it wasn't until Jerry dropped out.
Yeah, then he's going to have to take it for the rest of this. After the first of the year, he gets all the rest of them. So.
Ah.
Who seconded that vote? Who seconded?
Richard.
Who first? Me, you did.
Yep.
Firsted. I'm a great secretary.
Very
Watch out
good,
for
thank
your
you.
friends.
Thank you. All right, now, let's jump down to review the updates to our bylaws.
Okay. Does everyone have a copy, and did you review the changes that were there?
Yes.
Okay. Is everyone comfortable with those changes? Any questions on them?
Are we going to vote them as a whole, or are we going to look
Well,
at
actually,
them
what I'll
individually?
do, if you're comfortable with the changes, I will integrate them into a final document, and then we'll vote on that at the next meeting.
I did have a question
Sure.
regarding Article 4, Section 4.3.
Yeah.
B, Program and Advisory Committee, looks like it's being lined out or deleted.
Mm-hmm.
That function would be performed by the library director, is it?
It would be a committee formed under the direction of the library.
All right, but we're taking the committee out,
Because
effectively.
we don't have the committee.
We don't have the
We
committee.
don't have the committee.
So then the function then falls to the library director then? Because there apparently is something that committee would perform as a function, as I'm just reading this.
Yeah, but at this point, with the job duties that Karen currently has, it would be harder for her to oversee a committee to do it
Than to do it
just
individually.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm already doing it.
Yeah, that's I think was the answer I was looking for.
Right.
I understood that probably was the case.
When the
but-
bylaws were put together, it was an idea,
Mhm.
and we did, and it just never happened, and I don't anticipate it ever happening, just because
Okay.
it's, it would just be more work for me.
All right.
So it was my suggestion that it be removed.
And actually, we can delete the A under facility, in front of the Facility and Equipment Committee, since there's no B.
And the following page, the ad hoc committees were, what was the intent, the red?
Well, if there's
leave
any
that in there?
specific issue that comes up that we feel that we need outside, it doesn't have to be a member of the library trustees who's on the committee,
Mhm.
it could be outside people, so
Okay.
if it ever comes along.
All right. Is it appropriate to make a motion at this time?
Let's wait for a clean copy,
Okay.
okay? And we can do that, since we approved it in July, and we're tasked to review it every 3 years.
Mhm.
I mean, not July, in December, we are tasked to review it every 3 years, so we still will be under the gun with October.
Ahead of
approval.
schedule.
Yes, we will. Mhm. Okay, so I will do that, and I will send you all a clean copy.
Thank you. All righty. Is there any other business that may come before us? Our next meeting is October 25th, and as I think Karen said, or Deb said, that'll be the day after our town meeting, so get to our town meeting, please. And seeing no other thing come before us, I'll entertain a motion to.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Okay, motion made, and
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.